The Sino-Russian relationship has long been characterized by a complex interplay of cooperation and competition. While the two nations have found common ground in their shared opposition to the West, particularly the United States, underlying historical tensions have never truly dissipated. Central to this unease is the legacy of past territorial disputes, a ghost that continues to haunt the present. From the 17th century onwards, Tsarist Russia expanded eastward, encroaching upon lands historically claimed by China. Treaties like the Treaty of Aigun in 1858 and the Treaty of Peking in 1860 formalized these annexations, ceding vast territories in the Amur and maritime provinces to Russia. These historical injustices, deeply etched in the Chinese psyche, have fueled a simmering resentment that has periodically resurfaced throughout history. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 offered a brief window of opportunity for reconciliation. Both nations, grappling with internal challenges and seeking to redefine their place in the post-Cold War world, engaged in a pragmatic rapprochement. Border agreements were signed and economic ties strengthened, fostering a sense of cautious optimism. However, the embers of historical grievances continued to smolder beneath the surface. The 2014 annexation of Crimea by Russia marked a turning point in the Sino-Russian relationship. Facing international condemnation and Western sanctions, Moscow found itself increasingly isolated on the global stage. This isolation, coupled with the growing economic and military might of China, pushed Russia further into Beijing's embrace. China, for its part, saw an opportunity to advance its own strategic interests. With Russia weakened and in need of a lifeline, Beijing was well positioned to extract concessions and solidify its influence over its northern neighbor. The two nations embarked on a series of economic and military agreements, deepening their partnership and signaling a shift in the balance of power. However, beneath the veneer of camaraderie lay a growing asymmetry in the relationship. As Russia became increasingly reliant on China for trade, investment, and diplomatic support, Beijing's leverage grew. This power dynamic, with China holding the upper hand, has become increasingly apparent in recent years. The disparity between China and Russia's economic and military capabilities is stark. China, with its booming economy and rapidly modernizing military, stands as a global powerhouse. Russia, while still possessing a formidable nuclear arsenal, faces economic stagnation and technological limitations. This imbalance has inevitably shaped the dynamics of the Sino-Russian relationship. China's economic clout has made it an indispensable partner for Russia. Chinese companies have become major investors in Russian energy, infrastructure, and technology sectors. Trade between the two nations has skyrocketed, with China becoming Russia's largest trading partner. This economic dependence has given Beijing considerable leverage over Moscow. Furthermore, China's military modernization has not gone unnoticed in Moscow. The People's Liberation Army has made significant strides in recent years, developing advanced weaponry and enhancing its capabilities across all domains. While Russia remains a formidable military power, the gap between the two nations' militaries is narrowing. This shifting military balance has further emboldened China in its dealings with Russia. Section 4, the price of dependence, concessions and compromises. Russia's growing dependence on China has come at a cost. In exchange for economic and diplomatic support, Moscow has been compelled to make concessions on issues it once considered sacrosanct. This erosion of Russian sovereignty has not gone unnoticed by observers, who point to a pattern of Beijing extracting advantageous deals from its weakened partner. One notable example is the Power of Siberia pipeline, a massive project designed to transport natural gas from Siberia to China. While touted as a win-win for both nations, the deal heavily favors China, which secured favorable pricing and long-term contracts. This agreement, along with others in the energy sector, has cemented China's position as a major energy consumer for Russia, further increasing Moscow's reliance on Beijing. Beyond economic concessions, Russia has also found itself increasingly aligned with China's geopolitical interests. This alignment is evident in their shared opposition to NATO expansion, support for authoritarian regimes, and efforts to reshape the global order. While Russia may share some of these objectives, its growing dependence on China has limited its ability to act independently on the world stage. Section 5. Whispers from the past. Resurfacing territorial claims. Adding to the brewing tensions is the resurgence of historical grievances within China. As Beijing asserts its newfound confidence, long-dormant territorial claims against Russia have resurfaced in public discourse. While the Chinese government has maintained a cautious official stance, nationalist sentiments within China, often amplified by state-controlled media, have fueled anxieties in Moscow. Chinese scholars and commentators have increasingly questioned the legitimacy of the 19th century treaties that saw Russia annex vast territories in the Far East. These voices, while not representing official policy, reflect a growing assertiveness within China and a willingness to challenge the historical status quo. The spectre of these unresolved territorial disputes adds another layer of complexity to the already strained Sino-Russian relationship. While a full-blown territorial dispute between the two nuclear-armed powers remains unlikely, the resurgence of these historical claims serves as a potent reminder of the underlying tensions and the potential for conflict. It is a testament to the fragility of the Sino-Russian partnership, built as it is on a foundation of shifting sand.